The forest full of mysteries. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you found yourself in an enchanted forest full of mysteries? Bear Bart and his younger sister Sophie never imagined that one evening their lives would change forever. Bart was 9 years old and loved running, jumping, and playing endlessly. His younger sister Sophie, who was 6, was equally energetic. In the evenings, instead of calmly preparing for bed, they ran around the house, jumped on beds and chairs, shouting and laughing loudly. Their parents repeatedly asked them to calm down, but Bart and Sophie seemed not to hear. Their youngest sister, 2-year-old Misha, was often ignored as Bart and Sophie were engrossed in their games. One evening, when their parents once again asked the children for peace, Bart and Sophie decided to sneak out to the garden for a while. They ran across the lawn until suddenly they noticed something extraordinary. A door in the old oak tree that had never been there before. Bart and Sophie, fascinated by the discovery, opened the door and stepped inside. They found themselves in a magical forest full of mysterious lights and strange sounds. Suddenly, an old wise owl named Professor Owl appeared before them. "Welcome to the forest full of mysteries," said Professor Owl. "To return home, you must solve puzzles that will teach you the values of cooperation, responsibility, and caring for the younger ones." The first puzzle involved finding a hidden clearing where magical flowers grew. Bart and Sophie had to work together to navigate through dense bushes and avoid obstacles. Bart, who usually wanted to do everything himself, had to learn to listen to Sophie's suggestions. Together, they managed to find the clearing and gather the flowers. The next puzzle was to bring water from a mysterious river. It was tough and demanding work. Sophie, who usually relied on Bart, now had to take responsibility for part of the task. Together, step by step, they managed to bring the water and water the magical flowers, which began to glow with beautiful light. The last puzzle was the hardest. They had to find a way to help a small lost squirrel return to its family. Bart and Sophie realized they needed to be caring and gentle, just like when they took care of their youngest sister, Misha. Together, with great patience, they guided the squirrel through the forest to its home. In the end, Professor Owl appeared again and said, "You have learned important lessons. You cooperated, were responsible and caring. Now you can return home." Bart and Sophie returned through the door in the oak to their garden. They were tired but happy. They understood that evenings could be peaceful and full of warmth. They decided they would listen to their parents, help each other, and take care of Misha. When their parents saw Bart and Sophie calmly preparing for bed, they were astonished. "What happened?" they asked. Bart smiled and replied, "We learned how important it is to cooperate, be responsible, and care for others." Sophie added, "And now we know that evenings can be full of magic if we work together." Bart and Sophie discovered that cooperation, responsibility, and caring for others can bring peace and joy. Now the evenings in their home were full of warmth and love, and they themselves became better siblings and children. We can all learn from them how important these values are in our daily lives.